You know what's funny? It's funny because if someone was to give me a list and was to potentially say to me, Andrew, or whoever it might be, you know, there's a list of animals that I want you to go and catch. This is the one which I think that would be most hilarious, and they obviously thought it was quite funny. I can see why. I've dealt with the southern crested porcupine. I've dealt with the North American porcupine. I've dealt with the echidna in Australia. It's not a true porcupine, but you know, it's got spikes. So essentially, in life, it would channel me into a direction of dealing with this guy here. Now, this guy is called the bi-colored porcupine in South America, and essentially he's an arboreal species. Meaning he spends the majority of the time up in the trees. But I guess what's different with this porcupine as opposed to other ones is Chooch. He has a tail. Unbelievably has a tail. So I'm pretty sure I can actually pick him up by the tail. But I'm going to see how that goes. So I think I'm just going to get up into this tree and try and cut him down. But let me just do a quick zoom in. Ready? Straight past me. Boop, beep, beep, beep. Boop. There he is. So, porcupines are the third largest rodent species, and records show that they have the longest lifespan of the Rodentia family. Although these facts may not intrigue you, this fact will. Trying to get a South American porcupine out of a tree with a single machete is harder than spotting one in the canopy. Trust me, Chuck. Alright, now this is obviously a funny situation to get yourself into, being in a tree with a porcupine. Two things: A, I don't like heights, and B, I don't like spikes. Alright, now I'm going to try and get you down, get you out there in the open. Ha, hey, stay. Hey, ha, down, down, hey, hey, hey. Ah! No! Shh! Get that way! Ah! Hey! Hey! That way! That way! That way! That way! Now, I'm having a look at his tail. There might be a spot I can grab. Now, don't you go that way. Now try and break this branch down on him. And get him out. Ah! No! No! Hey! 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 Now, if you didn't notice, I'm losing light. You'll also notice that this species of porcupine is almost fearless in the canopy, and several times I was forced to swing to another branch just to avoid being bitten. Whilst in the process of capturing him, there are two things I noticed him doing. Firstly, grinding his teeth to let me know he can give a nasty bite. And secondly, swooshing his quills from side to side just to let me know that if you can't get a bite on me, well then Chooch, I'm going to be wearing those quills like a scarf. He also manages to change sides of the branch about 11 times. Now this makes it harder and harder to determine which branch to break out from under him. But finally Chooch, after a solid 2.5 hours, he was now ready to be handled on the ground. The safest way for both him and me. Okay, 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 so I got a porcupine, got a tail. I'm just going to try and think how I'm going to hold on to this animal, because they can be difficult. But essentially, this here, so I'm just going to grab my camera, I'm just going to grab my camera, like so, like so. I hope we're still recording. See, okay, don't climb up. This here is a bi-colored porcupine out here in South America. An absolute beautiful species, absolutely amazing. I've just came in to the dark nightfall, and this thing has been extremely difficult to actually get out from the tree, particularly because they are very well camouflaged, and not just that, they're very well calculated animal as well. Extremely. Now the quills go into you. Choochie, you're going to be in a whole lot of trouble because it's going to hurt and hurt a lot. Now being quilled by the southern crested, which essentially have much larger quills than this, been quilled by the North American, and I think essentially I've learnt my lesson in terms of getting quilled by a porcupine. Now, this is his defense strategy. You can just see the way that he's flared up. He's not paying a fare. He's flared up. He's a very well calculated animal, meaning that he can judge exactly how far I am and how protected that he needs to be from me in terms of trying to get quills into me. Now, you can just see the way he's trying to wrap his tail around me. Essentially, I actually thought that was going to be much harder to handle. I thought he would have been wrapping around and trying to grab my arm, but he's not. So the bi-coloured porcupine is one of the most common porcupines that you actually find in South America. It can be found pretty much all throughout the Amazon. It can be found all throughout the Amazon region. And what's funny is the indigenous people do consume, they're very good at having a go at you too. The indigenous people do consume this animal. The meat's supposed to taste very, very nice. I'm going to give you a bit of a release. You're okay, you're okay.